Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East. We are still in turn 2, but I do think we'll be able to wrap this one up. So I got a smaller pocket over here, and I actually think we might be able to achieve some form of a breakthrough down here without getting into exceptionally serious casualties. And let's attack here. So now let's take a look if Proskurov itself is empty. It is. That's very good news. Now, in reality, these guys will always be able to rail out of here because they own that rail hex. Unless I was somehow able to break through and then encircle whatever forces they have there. That would still... That'd be amazing. It's unfortunate they have something else there too, actually. Because... well, one thing I could try to do... No, that's never... Well, if I can get a unit in here, I guess they would get encircled. That would then have to be... There we go. Is it an amazing encirclement? No, but I guess it's something. They will escape. Almost without a doubt. I guess these guys were more of a pushover than I thought. Well, that does bring with it an opportunity. I still have one panzer division here as well. So I would suggest... At least I'm moving in through here. What is the historical capture date of Vinnitsa? 21st of July. I actually don't think they will have all that much in that area. This guy on the cavalry Romanian corps is actually not that bad. You should be able to still beat that border regiment regardless. And I will encircle these, just let's get rid of that border guard. They also retreated quite far. Well, I guess I have to do this in order to encircle those mountain troops. I don't mind doing that particularly. Alright. Let's start working with the third. Oh, so in the end they routed. Well, good. I'm looking to potentially encircle a few units in that area as well, but that's not... There would have to be these two, and then I can go around it from that side. I don't see any other particular way to do it, at least at the moment. Going in here does not... ultimately allow me to get through. So it will have to be just these two, which is fine. It's not the worst. You could do better, sure, but Okay, well, that actually does not take those hexes. Which means I kind of have to go around there. I don't really care about capturing a place like Mogilev-Podolsky now. Or for now. Yeah. Okay, such an attack is gonna be problematic. Maybe I can take it down with a heavy attack from the cavalry. I actually do see that. Nope. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's forget about that. What we should not forget about, I think, is the 11th Romanian. They definitely need to be relocated under the Cavalry Romanian Corps, and I will see fit to do it. One thing that's a bit of a problem is that the 11th Army is quite overburdened, and I'm not quite surprised at that. I need to put that Romanian Cavalry Corps under the 3rd Romanian Army. Because they have plenty of space. That will allow the 46th to be part of the 11th. And now the 11th can also start moving, so... there we go. The double rail line only goes as far as Odessa, but actually does not reach any further over on this side. Actually, I would need to start moving up, basically through here, where I am, or where I'm going now. I'm going through here, but then from here I actually need to move up, at the very least to Fastov, and then potentially over here and further towards Dnipropetrovsk. But working on the rail line down there, it will certainly be a bit problematic now. As it is, as a rail unit, it's not particularly performing well anyhow. You need to be relocated. But well, I can put them under the 54th. If you can't cross, I'd actually rather have them move into that city. Yeah, let's start moving. So there is these guys, which we actually get to move as well. And let's unload them from the train for this moment. And we'll also put them under the 54th. Any other units around here that I can deal with? No, there do not seem to be any. Alright, that means that I'll take a last further look. The first thing that I want to do is see whether in Romanian High Command there are any support units. Why is only... Okay, so there's the 1st Romanian Army. Probably somewhere down here. Yeah. So then we'll have Army Group Antonescu, which has a lot of construction battalions, which is good. I'll lock it. And then the 11th Army, which cannot be assigned to, which should be assigned to Army Group South, I still feel. Let's do that. Because this is getting ridiculous. It does overburden Army Group South. But that's also because the Carpathian Hungarian army, in part, should not, it cannot switch. Okay, well that's a shame. Let's just go through what these units have assigned though. So let's start with all of these. Like this is ridiculous. They have nothing. So I would actually say that all of these, well, let's take a look. So the 5th Romanian Corps actually has a decent number. The 11th Romanian Corps could use some artillery, so I guess that's what we'll work on first. Let's assign these to the 11th Romanian Corps. Does it cost any AP? No. There we go. There's a cavalry battalion, but they let's just first take a look here. So the 3rd does actually have quite a lot. Frontier. Two artillery, engineer, and 2 machine gun. I guess I could send both the 5th and the 2nd. Yeah, 2nd also doesn't have any artillery currently. Are they on cavalry? None. was the second, I believe. Yeah. Doing these kind of things generally takes a lot of time. Like, I'm currently only busy with just clearing up the Hungarians. This is the 5th. Getting those machine gun battalions where they need to go. None. These guys don't need any supplies whatsoever. Actually, I should... well, I don't want to disband them outright. I might actually need them in the future. But certainly not now. Okay, the 4th Romanian Army. It just has these HQs. So that's good. You have mostly construction battalions and a railroad yard. They have the 3rd and the 4th Romanian Army under its control. Here's the 3rd Romanian Army. Let's take a look. That's just a railroad command. Okay. They have a lot more than the cavalry, but that's fine. And I should be dividing those machine gun battalions and the artillery battalions. I should probably give all of it to the cavalry Romanian Corps, since these guys already have a lot for the moment. And then as a unit itself, they only have that. None of these guys actually have anything else. Okay, that's great. Now the only thing that I want to take a look at is whether the Romanian High Command itself... no, they have no other units assigned to it. Okay, that's good. Next up, the Hungarians. These guys, they just have a cavalry brigade and 2 motorized brigade attached. You have some security engineers. And this, and they're all tied to Carpathian Hungarian army, which is part of Hungary South. So there's nothing to be done there. That means that at least for the Axis are. The Axis allied armies, we've taken care of it. Maybe I... ah, okay, they have a unit there. It's a shame. I thought maybe I can capture the airfield, but they weren't gonna let me, and that's fair enough. Okay, now I do have the 17th Army that I need to deal with. In all honesty, I'd rather just move them forward for the most part, and I guess I will. Any hex that they can get their hands on is probably gonna be good. $50. Oh. Yeah, so like I said, any hex that they get to move forward, I'll take. If I'm lucky, I might be able to take down a few of these guys soon. I don't really see any of these units capable of moving in there. Do I have any HQ4? I can put them under the 51st Corps. That would be something. 51st, but I wonder. Oh, hello. Funnily, they actually cannot move into Proskurov. Oh yeah, it's because they have too much. So if I were... Well, I could either move this Panzer Division in there, or just move you. But I'd I actually think this hex is probably going to be the best, even though that doesn't use all of their movement. That is looking like the best option right now. You are not actually overburdened, so I could actually say that I want to put this unit under the 51st, and I think I will. 51st, here we go. Okay, let's take a look what you guys have. They have only security. Yeah, I'm fine with that. It's exactly the way I want it. Don't want them to randomly push me back there. That will be trouble. Okay, let's move you into Lvov. Now, is it possible for me to send these guys out? Guess not. These are red. I wonder why. Probably the game doesn't like something. That's usually what's going on. This 8th SS Cavalry is the only unit that I can possibly transfer at the moment. Now, I have a serious shortage in almost everywhere. These are city fortification units, and I would not be surprised if Tarna... Oh no, it's not for you. Not in the case of you guys. How about this unit at Kutna? No, but I also cannot send them. Okay. Well, what I do need to do anyway, if we take a look at the theater boxes, we do know that overall we have too little. So I guess here we have enough in air, but we don't have enough on the ground. Which units do we have? Quite a lot of Italian units. And then a Panzer battalion with 56 tanks. Mostly Panzer 3, Panzer 2s. And then some French models over here. I could technically send them there, but I think I should probably send them to this. Actually, I have quite a reasonable amount of units in the Axis reserves. Probably enough, at the very least, to fill stuff like Air Day, Air Night. And that should then be flak low and not flak high. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between flak low and flak high. I would have to investigate that before sending more units. I have enough ground units in Norway, for example, but not in Finland. Maybe I should send the 8th Cavalry to Finland then. Sending units to Finland actually has a much larger delay than anything else. But they are getting out of there. And what I'm gonna do besides is, if I have any okay, 17th Army has no support units to its actual headquarters. 6th Army has no actual units attached to its headquarters. Basically, I want none of it in here. I'm not sure what that C means. It probably means it is constructing. But I'll send all of that to the respective main headquarters. You didn't have any, and now you don't have any either. They do, however, have a security division attached. Yeah. Okay, you take it. I guess it should be under this core. Closest one. I guess I should have done that earlier. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do is send any construction battalions that I have over all the way to Army Group South. This is something that I generally used to do as well in order to increase real production or repair capacity, because I believe if they're in their actual core, they will usually help with defense construction, so you will get higher numbers. A penal cycle battalion, really? That cannot be good. Anyway, I believe they help with fortress creations, the creation of defensive works for your units, instead of working on rail lines, and that's why they should be sent over in here. What I'll do is I'll make sure that this is locked, so they'll keep their construction materials and nothing changes here either. I'm not quite sure how many there eventually are. But I just want them to do this, so. And I do hope that with me taking care of it like that, they will work a little bit more on the different areas of the rail. But we'll see whether that's actually the case. Next up, there's gonna be Army Group Center, so I'm gonna once again take a look at any construction battalions that they might have, and I'm gonna put in Army Group Center here. Again, this will take some time, but once I've done this practically once, there is no reason to do this a second time. Of course, technically, I also need to investigate whether all my support units are allocated properly. But I'm not so sure whether I'm gonna do that within the immediate future. Especially... Oh, come on, Army Group Center. Where are you? Army Group North, South, Center. There we are. Especially with me doing this for such a long time now. Hey, look, you want to get to Moscow? You're gonna have to, I guess, work on the rail line. I guess it's gonna be one of the most important things you can do. So the fact that it actually didn't work before is a bit of a problem. Army Group Center. I have to move the Army Group Center, I suppose, as well. Why does it keep moving here? Yeah, it's weird. As if the range changes for each of those. I guess if they may have been out? I don't know. I wonder if they were out already. Nah. RB Group Center. Weird that they claim the Armor Group South is closer. And that almost can't possibly be the case. I'll be very curious to see how much we'll be working on the rail now. So generally then, once it becomes winter or really like time to dig in, I guess that's the time when you want to move those units away from the army group level to the lower levels in order to make them dig in faster at that point. But currently that's not necessarily that big of a problem yet. So I might just as well send them all there. And I have a suspicion. Should have done a long time ago, which means turn 1. Army group center. Okay. And I guess in a way the same applies for changing those air units, because I didn't change their stance, and what happens is I actually had no vision on these forward areas whatsoever. I was basically flying blank, and that's not such a great idea. Let's get those engineers out. Okay, now we're at Army Group North, so we're almost done. And then we can actually ship it back to the Soviets. So I would dare say that things are hardly going as smoothly as I would have hoped. They're not going as bad as I thought they would. But it's very clear that this game is much different, and that does bring its own bag of problems, and it kind of means that you have to relearn the game. Well, not from scratch, but pretty close too. Ooh, you have no support units? Ooh, that's what I'm talking about when I said I need to get support units as well, because like these guys have barely anything. That really cannot be good. So I will have to switch those as well, but I don't think, especially in the spirit of an LP where I'm at least trying to have, you know, some advancement every turn. I don't want to spend 6 hours trying to, you know, correct that in one episode. So I'll probably take a more serious look at the different support units in the next episode, where I will then reallocate some of them in order to make sure that we can take care of business. However, I have to lock you. Move it into Brest. Lock you. I don't want them to be able to move 2 axes. I don't think they can. I think they can only move 1. Let's move it to Tilsit. They'll be fine. The OKH can technically have... yeah, they don't have support. Let's lock it for the moment. That's that. Okay, so we have a bunch of units that we need to use, kind of. It's pretty much just 34th Corps. I would say I'm just moving them in through the center. 100 MP. Ugh. You need that many. Okay, well, let's unload you then. No. They could just walk. This core cannot move for 1 more turn. And you also frozen for 1 more turn. how about the second army? Frozen for one more turn. So they're going to be allocated under the second army at that point. Together with units under this core, probably, and then yeah, definitely I'll be sending those units up as well. So this Krakow unit is not a static unit. It's very low combat value. Just like you, because they both have no combat readiness. I wouldn't be able to move them very far either way. Let's just march them forward. I guess you should also be part of the 34th. But I'm not gonna... Yeah, I guess they should be part of 6th. And they can't move on from there, so... Anyway, I've been playing for long enough for this episode, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap things up. For now, I'll leave the switch of the turn for the next episode. I'm pretty much ready, so I guess a small recap of what happened this turn. Basically, in the north, I crossed the Daugava, or the Dvina, however you want to call it, and then basically got relatively close to Pskov, but we'll have to see whether I'm going to take it on the next turn. I'm not optimistic, but we'll see. Then in the center, we also crawled our way towards Vitebsk here. Got a first touch of the enemy's new whatever defensive line this might be. Basically moving all the way forward. This is tough. I need to get the infantry closer. They're trying to catch up, but crossing the Dnieper is not going to be easy. If I can get there quickly to potentially Mogilev or Orsha, maybe I can get a secure crossing. We'll have to see how tough that's going to be. Then in the south, I made 2 pockets, one bigger one down here, and then there's a smaller one in here that is probably going to get released, but it seems like we have at least somewhat broken through their defenses, and hopefully they will have a difficult time getting new defenses up, so that we might be able to get through relatively well. I got a few small encirclements here and there. Nothing to, write home about, really. I mean, it's not surprising given the 11th Army and the Romanians. They're just making some minor gains. They captured Kishinev, so that's nice. I'm basically trying to kick them out of Bessarabia. While we tried to move to the east of Kiev, basically I captured Brody and Dubno. Or, it's not Brody. Yeah, it's Lutsk and Dubno, because... Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Historically, the Germans, they actually went straight through here as well, but I did not manage to do that. Potentially, I can get here, and then at the same time move these units up, cut the rail line. That might help some, but I don't know how much of an impact it has against an AI that potentially gets to move their units for free if they're not isolated. So yeah, I will do AI depot management right before the end of my turn, and then we'll ship it back to the Soviets in the next one. For now though, I want to thank everybody for watching. Do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like. comment, or subscribe. I'm gonna wrap things up in this one. It seems like we now have a forward depot all the way over here. That is definitely what I need. Nothing here yet. That's unfortunate. I do actually get some forward ones up here now. I guess. I don't know what this black stuff is. This does not seem like that's actually the way it should be working. Not at all. But yeah, we'll see. I do hope the situation gets a bit better once. Well, I don't want to say once that the front line stabilizes, which most likely will not happen anyway for some time. But if we can get the Soviets on the run, then and start building a bit better on the rail, things will work out somewhat nicer. Right. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time, and bye-bye.